What's going on, man? It's E. White, of course. Post NFL draft, the Panthers, I mean, listen, they went in, they went hard, they looked in the trenches, they walked into a Foot Locker instead of getting a pair of Jordans, got themselves a pair of Timberlands without question, and the man behind it, the Dr. Frankenstein building this monster, Dan Morgan, we appreciate you hopping on, man. How's it going?
Going good, man. Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. Absolutely, for sure. Congrats on the draft, and another congrats to you as well. Funny enough, this draft marks the 25th anniversary since you got drafted back in 2001. Yeah, back number 11 overall to the Panthers. Obviously, drafting, now being the GM and now in the new seat that you're in. Any of those memories come up, man, as you're drafting those kids? Like anything just nostalgic wise?
A little bit, I just obviously going through that process. I have a good idea what they're going through, so I can kind of sympathize with having to answer all the different questions, and it can get a little, especially towards the end of it, it can get a little annoying, like you're asked the same questions over and over again. That can get a little monotonous, so yeah, I mean, I definitely, know what they're going through, and I think it's, beneficial for me to kind of know what they're going through, and, I can kind of treat them accordingly.
Do you think there's a level of like comfort maybe knowing that you're a former player that they have talking to you, or do you feel it might be a little bit of like nerves and fear? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I think, the players coming out, I think maybe, they're nervous, and, I'm kind of older now, so I don't know if they're as familiar with me. A lot of these guys, shoot, I was playing when they were born, so it's kind of I'm getting old, but definitely with the players that are on the team, I definitely feel like I connect with them very easily, and it's just easy to talk to those guys, and they come to my office and hang in my office, and just have a really good relationship with them. And I think it's really important for the culture to know, for those guys to know they can come up to my office anytime, talk to me about anything, pick my brain, or ask for advice on anything. I'm always there for them.
No, for sure. And that's awesome, that you're able to do that. And again, be able to relate, right? That's absolutely massive.
Yep.
It's funny you talk about the questions and everything and how they get monotonous during the draft process. Is there like anyone in particular, like maybe you love to answer that you consider to be kind of off the wall, or like something that's like a little bit different that you really like hold a lot of weight with these players during the draft process?
My biggest thing is I like to, when I'm asking them what their goals are coming in for the rookie season, like I'd like to hear, I want to be the rookie of the year. I want to be a Pro Bowler. I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't want to hear, I want to be a special teams player. I want to make the team. Like I want to hear a guy that's confident in his abilities, and like, he knows he's good, and like I want to feel that myself, and that gives me confidence, to pick them and feel good about what we're bringing in the building.
I feel like just from the draft videos alone, you saw Monroe and Lee and Chris, like that's really resonates with what you're hoping for, with them, the energy. I mean, Lee Hunter alone, like that D-line room is just, between Princely and Derek Brown, is already hilarious and entertaining as it is.
Yep.
Adding him and, like what kind of, like, even like with players like that, you look at the skill set, but just the way they fit into the culture, like, how important is that in the process?
Super important, just as important as how good they are on the field. I really want to be careful about the type of guys that we infuse into our locker room. I don't want Derek Brown coming to me and being like, hey, this guy's kind of a, a douche type of guy, So I want those guys to know that I'm putting the right type of guys in the locker room, and they feel good about what we're doing up here, and they have confidence in what we're doing up here, and, we have a plan and process behind everything.
Absolutely, and throughout the draft process, even those that like maybe you didn't get, draft, but ultimately signed as undrafted free agents, will get a chance to prove themselves coming up here at rookie minicamp. Are there any of those guys, a name like Haynes King comes up, right? Where obviously coming out as a quarterback, there's the rumor mill of like, will he switch positions? Is there anything like you're trying out? You're just trying to like see where they mesh with things. Is there anything you're hoping that maybe Coach Canales would try out with some of these guys?
Not in particular. I think, I think Haynes, he'll be a quarterback. He's not going to be Taysom Hill. He can run, he's fast. Um, I don't think that's like his type of skill set, like a Taysom Hill type thing. But yeah, I mean, for me, more than anything, like going out to the rookie mini camp, it's nice to see just the guys move around and just, hey, there's always a surprise out there where you think, you don't think a guy's that good initially coming in, and you're just giving him a tryout, and all of a sudden he looks really good, and you're like pleasantly surprised, and next thing you know, you have a diamond in the rough. So, I think you look last year with Corey Thornton, like a guy that, we liked his tape. I don't know that we loved it, but he came in here and like the guy was a competitor, and like he had all the DNA traits that we look for, and look at him now.
Yeah. I mean, Jalen Coker, another one,
Yep.
undrafted, like most people couldn't point out a Holy Cross or Worcester, Massachusetts on a map, let alone anything else. So
Yeah.
the fact that you can
Yeah.
find somebody like that is absolutely awesome. So that is the fun in that, it's definitely, there's a level of fun involved with it,
Yeah, and
right?
I can't believe Coker wasn't drafted. Like we liked him a lot.
Sure.
We had a draftable grade on him. We just didn't get around to drafting him. But when we were able to get him in, post draft, I was definitely psyched up about that.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, were there any that you were a little bit shocked they fell as far as they did? I think a lot of people talk about Sam Heck, being a fifth rounder. Were there any of
Yeah.
those guys that you were like, wow, I can't believe they're here? Like, now we got to go.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Sam Hecht, we had a higher grade on him than where we drafted him, and same thing goes for Zaki Wheatley and Will Lee. Where we drafted them, we had higher grades. So, for us, we felt like, we hit a home run with those guys, and looking forward to seeing them come in here and compete and see what we got.
I mean, yeah, and talk about home runs, of course, today, locking up Bryce for the fifth year option. Obviously that's massive. Now that you've kind of put together the pieces to strengthen him even more, by strengthening up the offensive line, get him another weapon. How are you hoping the progress is this year? I mean, obviously there's the obvious thing where it's like MVP level season, but like even compared
Yeah.
to last year, what are you hoping for improvement wise?
Yeah, I think, with stability comes, I think you're going to see guys continue to get better. And, I think Bryce came into a tough situation and, you know, switching head coaches and schemes. And, so for Dave Canales to come in here and his staff, and there's stability now around that. And, Bryce is in the same system for what's going to be 3 years now. And I think you're just going to continue to see him master Dave's system and Brad Idzik's system and just get better and better and continue to ascend. So we're excited about him.
It's going to be a fun year for sure for this team. Again, a lot of positives, a lot of growth there. Dan, one thing I really loved about this process, you started out as a scout after you finished up your playing career. The way that you highlighted your scouts on social media and everything was absolutely just unique and fun. And it's for a lot of people who maybe are the more casual fans, it's a thankless job, right? It's one they don't think nearly as much about as like a GM or a coach or anything like that. What was the inspiration behind that? And like whose idea was it to get that started?
Yeah, I think Bruce and his staff, I think, did a really good job recommending that, and just to get those guys some exposure and honestly get them some experience too, because hopefully, we win a lot of games around here, and those guys get opportunities somewhere else, and the first time they get in front of a camera, it's not going to be, so big to them. So I think it's really good experience for them, and to your point, I think, they're the people behind the scenes that are on the road, long hours on the road, away from their families, away from their friends. So to, kind of highlight them and get them some exposure, I think means a lot to all of us.
Absolutely. And again, it just shows that level of, just appreciation, beyond everything, right? And that's
Yep.
such a cool thing and such a great opportunity you gave them. Before I let you go here, Dan, obviously you guys are, it's funny because I think it's becoming a conversation around the league. You guys are like a physically fit bunch. You like to, you like to clang and bang on the off days, or like, when you're out of town and everything. This is completely on the other side of that, because I love that. I'm a bit of a foodie myself. I'm trying to get in the shape. I'm trying to get to the point where like people in the press box looking at me like, you know what? He's undersized, but he could have played. That's like kind of my goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But for me, it's like I'm a big foodie. So I'm curious, for you, What's your favorite food city in the NFL? And when you're in that city, what's the first thing you go for?
Well, I'm from Philadelphia, so
Go Birds, dude. Wait, sorry, not Go Birds. It's an instinctive thing for me. I grew up outside of Philly too, so that's funny.
Yeah. What part did you grow up in?
I grew up in Bucks County. I grew up in Warminster. Yeah,
so
dude.
we're not too far.
Yeah, man. Where are you from?
I was right there
like,
in Clifton Heights.
Let's go. Yes, for sure.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we go to Philly this year, so I'll be hitting the cheesesteak run there for sure. So
what's the order?
It depends where I go. I usually like to go to Jim's. So I'll go to Jim's and grab a cheesesteak there, get some extra provolone on it, throw some ketchup on it, and I'm good to go.
Okay, ketchup on a cheesesteak. Controversial, but good. I like it. You know what I mean? It's a controversial thing. I'm just glad you said Jim's and not like Geno's or Pat's. Like the rookies know. You know what I mean? It's just like you got to teach the people quickly. It's funny you say that. Al Wallace actually was telling me about, because he went to Temple. He was telling me about when they would go to like Ishkabibbles and like Chris Jenkins were like three of them bad boys. Same deal.
Yeah, you have to if you're him, if you're Jenks.
Yeah, no doubt, man.